Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video I will be ranking all 8 seasons of Total Drama, yes including RR and the reboot, so spoilers. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into the ranking. The bottom 2 seasons might not be a surprise, of course they are All Stars and Pakuto Island. But which one is last? Well, it would have to be Pakuto Island. It just doesn't feel like a traditional season. Almost everyone in it are insane and suck. I only like a handful of the competitors and the challenges aren't even good. I wouldn't even put All Stars above this season, they both suck and are basically last. No surprise here, All Stars is next. Where do I begin? The cast they picked is good but could have been so much better. They didn't have Owen, the first season winner in the season, and Brick was perfect for the heroes team. Secondly, they ruin almost all the characters we've grown to love in the season. The villain they picked could have been so much better, if everyone's IQ wasn't decreased by 80%. The challenges were supposed to be references to the old seasons, but they ended up either not being references at all, or are bad. I could keep going, but overall the season is terrible and it deserves its 7th place. In 6th place it might be a bit surprising, but it's action. I don't really hate action, but I don't love it either. The first half of it is pretty boring and struggles. As much as I don't like Courtney after Island, she does make action more interesting. I think one of the main problems is that there wasn't enough contestants, so they had to do aftermaths and a lot of reward challenges. They also messed up the final 2, it should have been Lindsay versus Harold, but for some reason they made it Duncan and Beth. So yeah, a lot of mess ups, but I would still call it a decent season. Barely missing the top half, we have the newest season. The reboot. I was hoping that it would at least be decent, and it delivered. It's nowhere near my favorite season and I wish it was 26 episodes again, but it's nowhere near All Stars and Pakuto Island. Most of the characters in it are actually likable and good, unlike Pakuto. It seems they learned from their mistakes and actually made the season and challenges fun and great again. The winners in the season were actually deserved and it brings me hope that the second season of the reboot will also be good. 4th place goes to Revenge. It's a great season and the first one to have new competitors. I love the original ones but the second gen are also great, the only one I really dislike is Stacy. It's not perfect but they do a lot of things right and I think it's worthy of the top half. The villain was unique, even if his strategy didn't make much sense, and the toxic waste was a nice touch. I do think they went overboard at some parts though, like when Scott got mauled by Fong, and Dakota becomes a mutant, but I still really enjoy this season and think the ending and final 2 were great. The bronze medal goes to a non-traditional season, Ridonkulous Race. I haven't really seen it in a couple of years but off the top of my head it was a great season. It did have a lot of teams at first and not much interactions between them, but once some of the teams get out there's a lot. Some of my favorite teams were the Sisters, Goths, Reality TV Pros, Father and Son, and Ice Dancers. The villains were really good and I like how they just cheat whenever they get the chance because there's no voting. The winners are good, but I think they could have picked some better teams. If they were to ever make a RR2 I wouldn't be mad about it, as long as it's as good or better than the first. Taking the silver medal is the original Island. It is a very loved and adored season, and I have great memories of growing up and watching it all the time. The villain is one of the best villains in the whole series, even if she had some plot armor, and the characters, relationships and interactions were great. I think the winners they picked for Island were good, but they could have picked some others for one of them. Chris also wasn't insane yet and actually cared for the competitors. It had a ton of great moments but there is still one season that I think takes the cake for the best. As you all probably guessed, I think the best season of Total Drama is World Tour. I think it had one of the best cast and without the doubt the best villain. He managed to get rid of half of the competitors and still somehow won. I know some people don't like the songs, but I think they were good, fun and unique. The locations they went in this season was also great and is one of the reasons I love this season. That being said, I don't think it's perfect. It was the first season to have 3 teams but for some reason made one team lose over and over. It also had the love triangle, but honestly I don't mind it. It basically saved Heather from getting out in episode 13. It also had some dumb eliminations, but what season of this show doesn't have dumb eliminations? I really enjoyed the final 4 of the season and I think it picked the perfect final 2. Heather's redemption in this season is also amazing. That's the list. Thank you all for watching. I know I don't upload much, but I'm just doing it for fun, to get my opinions out there and stuff. Make sure to like and subscribe and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.